The tariff saga has monopolized media ever since it was announced several weeks ago. Different interpretations, analysis, and possible outcomes dominate the news. As of today, the only certainty is the effect that this uncertainty is having on financial markets and the fact that certain measures cannot be reversed. The announcements and counter-announcements and changing decisions have sent stock markets into a tailspin and have also affected the bond markets. Does the 90-day pause on tariffs imposed by the US on the rest of the world, with the exception of some Chinese goods, now mean that we will live the same uncertainty in early July? Or does it mean that we're living in a period where we will see an escalation of great power politics between the US and China, with the rest of the world sitting by the sidelines and watching these two mega countries clash over trade? The truth is that no one knows the answer, just like no one could have predicted the events of the last few weeks. A fundamental change in world trade and financial markets has been introduced, together with declarations about establishing a new order, and this is the new reality to face. What we as Europeans hope, however, is that European countries will come together and try to strengthen the Eurozone's economies as much as possible and make the euro as prominent as possible given this new reality. If the role of the dollar as the de facto reserve currency is under question, and the Chinese currency, the yuan, cannot be accepted as hard currency by most countries, then does the euro have the ability to cover part of this vacuum? Perhaps not to fully replace the dollar, but certainly as a much-needed currency through which more trade can be denominated. Lots of this will have to do with ECB policy, of course, and by actions by European heads of state. But the sign of leadership is to identify opportunities in crisis, and this could be one such case for EU leaders. Another issue to consider is that the US has used economic sanctions, or the threat of economic sanctions, as a blunt instrument of US foreign policy for many years, and by and large to powerful effects. If the current tariff war ends up having the effect of reducing the amount of trade between the US and other countries, or reducing the volume of global trade denominated in US dollars, what will be the effect on America's ability to leverage this sanctions instrument in the future? Common sense suggests that it would be reduced as countries divert trade to other trading partners with lower costs of trade and using currencies that are less likely to be weaponized or subjected to changing tariff policies. So does this approach contain risks to the US ability to use trade to influence foreign policy outcomes? There are lots to consider as we watch the saga unfold, and banks certainly have much to think about as they formulate their plans given the new realities. Follow this channel and like the video to get the latest updates on this subject.